All right, let's talk about Emirates. How on earth does an airline born in the desert with literally no home market to speak of build a global empire? I mean, this isn't just some regular success story. It's like a masterclass in how to completely tear up the aviation rulebook. So, let's wind the clock back to 1985. You gotta remember, Dubai wasn't the mega city it is today. It was small, but it had big dreams. And the main airline in the region at the time, Gulf Air, was actually pulling back flights. So what does Dubai do? They decide, you know what? We'll start our own. A huge, huge gamble, especially when you see what they had to work with. And this is what they had in the bank. $10 million. That's it. It came from the royal family, but here's the kicker. It wasn't a free handout. It was a loan. And the instructions were crystal clear. You have to be profitable, like right now. To put that in perspective, a major airline today could burn through $10 million in, what, a day? Less? This right here gets to the absolute core of why this whole idea seemed impossible. Think about a standard airline, right? Someone like Delta or Lufthansa. They rely on a massive network of shorter domestic flights to feed passengers into their big international hubs. Emirates? They had nothing. Not a single domestic route. It was a giant, glaring hole in the business plan. Which, of course, leads us to the big question we're tackling here. How did they go from that seemingly impossible starting point to becoming the biggest international airline on the entire planet? Let's get into it. Okay, so Section 1, the desert gamble. This is where it all began, a high-stakes bet that was all about big vision, incredible speed, and just a totally different way of looking at the airline industry. And when I say they moved fast, I mean fast. The airline was founded in March of '85. They were given just 5 months to actually start flying. They got some major help from Pakistan International Airlines, who leased them planes and helped with training. And boom, by October, their first flight was in the air, heading to Karachi. Just 2 years later, by '87, they were buying their own planes and already starting to grow worldwide. Incredible! So here's the secret sauce, right? They took what should have been their biggest weakness, having no domestic market, and flipped it into a strength. Suddenly, there were no money-losing short routes to worry about. The government was smart. They provided the startup cash and the airport, but they stepped back and let the airline run like a hungry, for-profit business. And crucially, they were one of the first to really see the potential of connecting East and West through a single, powerful hub. And that hub strategy brings us to their next big move, engineering a true global crossroads. See, it's easy to look at a map and say, oh, Dubai is in a good spot. But this was way more than luck. They deliberately, painstakingly built Dubai into a transit machine that the world had never seen before. And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? Take a look. A whopping 70% of their passengers aren't even visiting Dubai. They're just connecting there, flying from, say, London to Singapore. Their actual home market is tiny. For Emirates, the entire world is their market. So how do they pull this off? It's all about something called a banked hub system. Think of it like this. A massive wave of planes comes in from Asia in the morning, the passengers get off, and they're perfectly timed to catch the wave of planes heading out to Europe. Then the whole thing happens in reverse in the afternoon. It's a beautifully choreographed dance, all fine-tuned for speed. They're using biometric tech now to get you from gate to gate in like 90 minutes. It's wild. And I love this quote because it just nails it. While Delta feeds Atlanta with domestic flights, Emirates feeds Dubai with the world. That's the whole game right there. Legacy airlines built hubs to serve their country. Emirates built a super hub to serve the planet. It's a completely different mindset and, you could argue, a way more ambitious one. Now, to make this global hub model work, you need the right tools, the right planes. And this is where Emirates made another totally counterintuitive move. Most airlines have a mix of big and small jets. Emirates, they made a shocking bet. We're only gonna fly big, wide-body planes for everything. Basically, their entire fleet boils down to two workhorses, the Boeing 777 and, of course, the big one, the Airbus A380 Super Jumbo. And man, their bet on the A380 was just legendary. At a time when other airlines were saying, this plane is too big, it's too expensive, and getting rid of them, Emirates went all in. They basically bought all of them, becoming the biggest operator by a mile. So you might be asking, why did they love the A380 so much? And yeah, the onboard showers were cool, but it wasn't just about that. It came down to simple math. Think about a super busy airport like London Heathrow, where getting a landing slot is nearly impossible. Well, one A380 flight can carry the same number of people as two smaller planes. That makes every single one of those precious slots twice as valuable. It's just brutally efficient. And sticking to just those two types of planes had these amazing knock-on effects. It simplified everything. Your pilot training gets easier, you don't need to stock a million different spare parts. And let's be real, when you walk up to Boeing or Airbus and say, "I'd like to buy 100 planes, please," you get a way better deal than the guy buying 5. The buying power is immense. All right, but you can have the best planes and the most efficient hub in the world, but if the experience on board sucks, people won't fly with you. Emirates understood this early on. They saw service not as a cost to be minimized, but as a competitive weapon. Their goal? To democratize luxury. And of course, at the very peak, you've got the stuff of legend. We're talking about the first-class private suites with doors that actually close. And the one everyone talks about, the onboard shower spas on the A380. I mean, taking a shower at 40,000 feet, that's just next level. But what's really clever is how that feeling of luxury trickles down. In business class, you're not just getting a slightly wider seat. No, you're getting a bed that goes completely flat, you can order food whenever you want, and get this, there's an actual walk-up bar and lounge area in the back of the plane, a social club at cruising altitude. But here's the real game changer, in my opinion. Even if you're flying in the back, in economy, the experience still feels premium. You often get more legroom than on other airlines, you get a proper multi-course meal, not just a sad little sandwich, and the entertainment system, well, it's in a league of its own. That system is called ICE, which stands for Information, Communications, and Entertainment. And the numbers are just staggering. Over 6,500 channels. Movies, TV, live sports, tons of music. It's a huge part of their strategy. It's about making sure that no matter what class you're in, the flight itself becomes part of the experience, not just something you have to endure to get to your destination. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the risky start, the hub model, the big planes, the luxury service, you end up with what I call the Emirates Paradox. It's a story that's so full of contradictions that it makes you wonder, is this a repeatable blueprint for success, or was this just a complete one-off miracle? And this table really lays it out clearly. On one hand, it's owned by the government, but on the other, it competes and often wins against hyper-competitive private airlines. It has no domestic market to fall back on, yet it's the world's biggest international airline. For years, its rivals have accused it of getting unfair government subsidies, but Emirates just points to its track record of being consistently profitable and the fact that it pays dividends back to the government of Dubai. And maybe this is what it all boils down to. In an industry that is absolutely obsessed with cutting costs, with squeezing every last penny for shareholders, Emirates chose a different path. They invested in awe. They focused on the long game, building a global brand that, for millions of people, just means quality. Which brings us back to that final massive question. Was the Emirates model a brilliant, repeatable blueprint that others can follow? Or was it a perfect storm of timing, location, and ambition that can never, ever be duplicated? So what's your take? Brilliant blueprint or unrepeatable miracle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd genuinely love to leave them. And if you enjoyed this explainer, please give it a like and subscribe for our weekly stories on fascinating business and financial strategies from around the world. While you're at it, you can also subscribe to the Dreamsoft Technologies Canada channel and join our WhatsApp channel family for even more content. And for those of you interested in aviation careers, we've got something special for you. Check out the links in the description for free online courses, including a diploma in airline cabin crew training. Our blog is also updated constantly with cabin crew jobs. It's all down there. Thanks so much for watching.